Diplodocus with motorized walking action, Dino-Riders and Pteranodon with figures and battle gear, each sold separately. Dino-Riders.
Two of my favorite things as a kid were dinosaurs and lasers. So you can imagine my excitement when in the late 80s, the Tyco product research team must have been looking over my shoulder when they mushed those concepts together and created Dino-Riders. If you remember this hard-hitting cartoon, then you best prepare yourself for some nostalgia. And if you are gifted with youth and have no idea what I'm talking about, then strap yourself in, because this is a very special Orktober, as today the Orks are becoming
Dino-Riders.
I loved cartoons as a kid, and I still love them to this day. It doesn't take long at all to explain the concept of Dino-Riders to someone. You have good guys riding dinosaurs, bad guys riding dinosaurs, and they shoot lasers at one another. The team over at Tyco just wanted to sell some cool toys, and man, I wanted to get my hands on all of them. I can still remember playing with these toys when I was growing up, and they were so cool. Now that I'm older, I'm still playing with toys. Maybe I need to grow up. I'm confident that I've set the scene. I want to bring Dino-Riders into the 41st millennium. And not only that, I want to create something special that reminds me of the toy commercials from that era. On the channel today, I want to create my first ever diorama. Let's get to it. Kindly, the Seraphon army in Age of Sigmar have the Stegadon model, so that surely has to be my starting point. I'll start building and the rest will come to me as I go. I'm hoping that the dinosaur itself won't need too much work, but
We'll have to check it out. Prepare to
build the dinosaur. I can totally picture savage Beast Snagga Orks charging into battle on the back of a dinosaur, so they are the faction I'm choosing. Also, anytime I step an inch outside of the lore for an Imperium faction, the comments section blows up, so you can imagine the grief if I put a Space Marine on a dinosaur. Oof, I don't need that kind of heat. The dinosaur itself won't need much tweaking at all, and I'm happy with how it looks and operates as a platform. To create the Warhammer 40k crossover, I begin by sorting through my various bits bags to find anything that looks like it could be repurposed by the Orks to create their dino mount. I'm not gluing anything in place just yet, and instead I use post-attack to trial different pieces in varying positions. Same as an Ork Trukk, I want this model to be capable of 2 to 3 models having room to be placed on top to denote that there is a squad being transported. Acting in place of the driver will be an Ork Beastmaster of sorts. I initially planned to have the Ork out in front and walking the dinosaur on a leash, but that will be a Dino Walker, which I imagine is a less popular animated series somewhere. The pose on this model is perfect if I chop the weapons from both of its hands. Now it looks like it's pulling on a chain while standing atop of the dinosaur. I've primed the model with Wraithbone spray from Games Workshop, but just about any prime colour would work, as I'm moving straight across to a base coat of a dark purple. I want to use my airbrush here to save on time, but I often speak about how you can still achieve the effects with a brush, so I'll concede some time and show you that with 2 patient coats of the purple, I have a smooth dark shadow for the dinosaur skin. My Stegadon will be blue in colour, but I love having a different colour for the shadows, which is why I've started with the purple. I couldn't decide on the blue that I wanted, so I settled on a 50-50 mix of Cantor and Thousand Suns blue. These painting steps are taking me quite a bit of time to work through, but it's giving me an opportunity to re-watch some of the Dino-Riders cartoons. And that's just it. Painting shouldn't be a chore. Settle in and use this as an opportunity to switch off from the rest of your day-to-day. Here you get to be creative, or in some of these slow moments, I appreciate the chance to calm the pace and let my mind take a break. I'm happy with how the skin is looking, and for the stronger areas around the mouth, I'll mix in a little sand or bone colour and work this in. This dino eats tough plant roots and rough vegetation, so this mouth beak area needs to be up to the task. I'm going to have green orcs on the back, so I think red, pink or orange coloured scales would clash. Yellow isn't bad, but I'll have set myself a challenge with working back to yellows on all of these scales, so I'm going to play it safe and pick a bone colour. I think this will provide a more natural look to the dinosaur in an unnatural setting, and I don't need every part of the model to be competing for attention with bright colours. An easy and effective way to paint all of these horns is to glaze different browns from light at the base to dark at the tip. This is giving the impression that the horns are growing and aging over time. This is looking better than I had planned. I'm pretty pumped.
Let's save the celebrating for later.
Yeah, thanks. The front of this dino is adorned with dangerous horns that are ready to impale you. Almost as dangerous as surfing the internet without a VPN. Surfshark VPN are helping to sponsor this video by promoting a new deal for Flashing Badger viewers. When I'm relaxing and painting, I can unlock and watch content, including these awesome cartoons, that are otherwise blocked in my region. With the tap of a finger, I can change my location to a server on the other side of the globe and access enormous catalogues on Netflix and other streaming services. If you're ready for a VPN and you'd like to start with an amazing offer that also supports this channel, you can begin with an exclusive Surfshark deal. Using code FLASHING, you're able to obtain 3 months free using the link below. The dino is decorated with metal ornaments, and obviously one of the orc mechs has pimped our ride and added some custom exhaust to the upper thighs. This is a blinking green neon light away from being my dream ride in Need for Speed Underground 2. While she's not completely street legal, I challenge anyone to come up with something more radical.
You've just gotta have what it takes.
See? This guy gets it. The medals are pretty boring at this stage and are just getting a wash and some edge highlights out of me. While I'm here though, I should probably paint up the cabin mount area. Lots of bone and light brown colours to fit this jungle, almost grimdark Aztec feel that I'm reaching for. And it just wouldn't be one of my videos without some sponge being thrown around. The orcs have ripped these doors off of something expensive, and to show how weathered they now are, I'll sponge some yellow around the centre, then put a sepia wash over the top. And once this is dried, I can thin down a brown and an orange to act like rust and grime. Because I don't see nothing wrong with a little rust and grime. Our dino friend spends its life outdoors, so all of these metallic parts will be rusting away, so they can all have the rust and grime treatment today. And a little bit of drool to show that our dinosaur is also hungry for combat. I'm happy with how this is looking, so I'm going to glue the mount parts onto the dinosaur now, and to prevent it from charging straight off the board, I'm going to begin on the Beastmaster. If you're wanting a real close look at how I paint this orc model, well, you're in luck, because I've created a whole video painting guide on orc Beast Snagga models with this pale green skin. A link should pop up somewhere, and this will take you across to that video if you're keen. There I'll show you each individual paint and technique I use so that you can paint along with me. This orc needs to be strong if it's going to command the dinosaur. The reality is that the dinosaur will be far more powerful and could surely launch this green skin from its back. So either through intimidation or through mutual benefit, the dino is redirecting its muscle into the enemy. I love the idea that this Beastmaster isn't mistreating the dino at all, and instead knows the locations of the tastiest vegetables, so the beast permits the orc to perceive control for now. Either way, our Beastmaster can't simply point and click, so in order to direct and govern this creature, he's going to need a chain. $1 eBay jewelry to the rescue. At this point, both Gordon and Dingles are primed to remind me about how I once used string instead of chain for a similar purpose in a video, and the comment section blew up with stern opinions on my blunder. So gentlemen, I'm taking the opportunity away from you, I'm getting ahead of it. We here at Flashing Badger Painting won't be making any further statement about the string incident. We are focused and we are taking it 1 week at a time. What is important is for our personnel to play their role and remember that here at Flashing Badger Painting,
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be...
I've never made a diorama before, but over the last 12 months I've been inspired by creators like MT Speedcrafts and Wulkvenkraft, and so today I want to give it a go. I'm still going to create an oval base for when I want to play the model in 40k games, but I'll also have the diorama for now when I want to display it. I'm starting with my piece of foam and cutting it down to size. I'm not a clever man. In about 5 seconds time, I remember to put my face mask on so that I'm not breathing in the fumes generated from the hot wire cutter. The dino and orc pairing exist on a world that has some lush vegetation, but I don't have that much in the way of scenics to decorate the base. Wait, no, I mean I want to create a clearing in the low ground which will create space to show off the model and remind me of the toy commercials from the 90s. I've marked out a cavity in the ground to act as a pond, and I'm using my low budget rat claws to dig out chunks of foam. Using a lighter, I'm creating some indentations in the ground and creating a more natural shape around the water feature. Sculptamold is a mix of clay, plaster and paper mache, and I simply add water and then smoosh this around the foam to create texture. Everyone else just uses their hands, but I'm precious, so I'm using a stick. Before it dries, I'm sprinkling on some cat litter and sand, which will act as pond pebbles. And sand, and then some grass flock in patches. The colour of this doesn't matter as I'll end up painting over the top. Isopropyl alcohol and then a mix of PVA glue and water over the top, and this should seal everything in place. I'm leaving this out to dry, and it
Shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Stop that! Once dry, I seized the brief moment of sunshine and primed with black and then sprayed a little white over the top to create lighter areas on top and darker recesses. Each step I perform on the diorama, I'm also shadowing with the oval base so that I'll be ticking off both tasks at the same time with no real added effort. I used the brush earlier, so I've earned the right to save time here by using my airbrush. Cycling through browns and muddy looking greens, I'm spraying random patches to denote the muddy undergrowth areas around this watering hole. There's plenty of flora capable of growing here, but the various beasts and critters stomping around the water source would destroy most in this immediate area. Boy, I'm really selling the lore behind why I'm too cheap to fork out for heaps of plants. If you are an avid creator of dioramas, I absolutely need your input in the comments below. Once you've seen the steps I've taken and how mine turns out, I implore you to share your feedback, tips and tricks to assist not only me, but also others that are viewing. I'm satisfied that there are enough browns and greens down so I can get started on the vegetation. This summer undergrowth from Army Painter is perfect to clump around the board and also to feed into some of the cracks in the pond. This can be growing in the banks and in the water so that I'm not left with a boring and clean looking pool. Gamer's grass also make laser cut plants, and I have a whole bunch left over from when I went on a wild spending spree. So here's an opportunity to put a whole bunch more down, and they also have a prehistoric feel to them as well. All the delicious grass tufts have been eaten already, so here are some dried ones scattered around the side. It's still a little too brown, so some last minute additional patches of bright green grass. It's madness. I'll spend an hour or two making a pretend garden in my basement, but I refuse to spend 15 minutes trying to make my own garden look nice. Really makes you think. Resin time, and I'm adding a pinch of transparent greeny blue ink as a fun colour, giving it a stir, pouring it in, and then letting it sit overnight. What do you think, team? Is it time to check out my 40k radical Dino-Riders diorama? I'll I'll need you to let me know below if you've enjoyed the video, and fun fact, if you click the like button, it will recommend it to others as well. If you have made it this far into the video, it's because you're one of the channel's biggest supporters and you're an absolute superstar. So I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for your time and encouragement. By the time this video comes out, we will be hitting the 10,000 subscriber mark, which is absolutely insane. I'd now like to invite you to join me, my team, and the other incredible people that are part of the paid channel membership. It's the low price of approximately $1 US per month, and if you're in a position to contribute financially, then consider checking it out, as this goes directly to funding the channel and videos like this one. I'll look for ways to spoil channel members where I can. Black Sword was the first channel member, and go back a few months and we were painting and surprising him with his very own huge Primara Space Marine painted in his chapter's custom colours. I'll pick another idea soon, so be on the lookout, but today's shout out is to you, Black Sword, and our newest member, Flash. Thank you both so much for your support. I'm currently working on some more 90s nostalgia as I'm piecing together a painting guide and some watch-along games all centered around the Judge Dredd universe.
Lethal rounds exhausted.
Thank you so much again, and I'll see you on the next one. If you're after another Ork conversion video, then why not check out this one, where my boys pull apart an impulsor from the Space Marines to turn into a truck. And also, YouTube seemed to think that this video is a best match for you. Are they right? Yeah, that's it. See you, bye.